Hello friends, Bitcoin prices have blasted back up to 57,000. I know the prices are currently 58,000 as it happens, but I had to say 57,000 because that's what I have on my title description and thumbnail, and I chose to use Heinz mustard jello sauce number 57. Nice little bit of a laugh there for everybody. How are you all doing? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Good to see everybody. Nice to have you here. Rook Trade, Navanethan, Trade Spotting, everybody that is here, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining me. So yeah, totes do eat. Everybody's telling me that I should do eat, so I should open up my Top Shop card. My Top Shop pack. That'll be fun. Let's do that in a moment. First off, we'll kick off the BTC technical analysis. Nice to see that our suggested trade idea here ultimately has been a good one, more or less. Although, of course, it wasn't necessarily immediately good. We did see the prices over the period of the last couple of days drop down as low as 53,200 and then actually recover. The 4-hour Bollinger Band showing us the way with regards to their bodies closing within that second standard deviation line, overall moving back up towards the top sides. So far haven't actually had quite a degree of positivity. However, we are of course right at an area which we'd already defined as being somewhere that might be worth taking profit at for a couple of reasons. At the time the Bollinger Band was there, that's where the 20 period moving simple moving average was before, but of course then we had our previous high as well in the price action at that all-time high area in there. It's a decent enough place to be taking profit at if you did long it up to these areas, so that's nice to see. So those, what's the high there? 58,350. That would have been a profit taking target. Now actually the question remains, can we push on past that zone? That's what we're going to be having to try and see how it goes over the next wee while. It's nice to have seen this rise up in price today, having spent the last couple of days doing what we spoke about probably doing on Monday when we chatted about the volatility and the, well, while it's not like outrageous percentage moves, what we are seeing of course is this movement within the day's price, you know, the true range kind of expressing itself fully even in that small percentage moves overall, meaning that people who are on high leverage trades would have been getting the risking exposure to being wiped out. Will we see this kind of operate along the lines of pushing past this like a neckline and kind of pushing towards the top side with this doubly bottom style, perhaps kind of head and shoulders-esque area here, perhaps have an Adam and Eve type area here at the end, giving us something more to look forward to? Well, I'm not going to say that's the immediacy for us. I'd like to see us managing to stay above that 56,666 now, with regards to actually being able to do that. We'll see, of course, that key area of 55, all the fives and everything else. We'll all know them if the prices are going towards them, what the picture is at the time. The next target up from where we actually are at the minute is 59,999,999. You could call it 60,000, but then of course, you know, it's cooler to say 59 and all the nines, and that's what we could be looking up to if we actually do go towards the top side of the Bollinger Band. Wouldn't be breaking market structure at that point, you know, in terms of this potential for a downward trend that it could, you know, it could be expressing. So we need to push on actually past that 60,000, and that's maybe why it's worth saying 59,999 instead of actually up into the mid 60,000, 61,000, 62,000, for instance, and actually breaking past this previous top area. And that's what we need to see happen for the prices to continue to just keep on rolling on up the way. The first like signs of something not so encouraging is how we've just you know, as we've moved up towards the top side, just seen the DMI ADX line there and the DMI dropping off, and that ties together with what I was already kind of suppositioning with regards to whether or not we would see a pullback there in this key area if that were to happen, you know. But we have got the top side nice strength, I suppose, there, pushing past the median line. If we can continue to close out these 4-hour candles with an upward price movement, then of course then that looks really, really great. If it were to turn around just here, then actually the anchor points being where they are, we just see that having a bit of a sort of crossover at the neutral line on that one if it were to be the case. Actually no, wait, let me just see. Yeah, well, we could, it depends. Yeah, if we close out this hourly candle, this 4-hour candle as we're doing, then great, and if not, well then that will swing back round again. And on the and on this front, do we have, you know, this tiny little short-lived, like, you know, is this hidden bullish divergence type of idea, you know, or bullet, sorry, or anything? No, it can't really be, because that's part of a downtrend as we're looking at the end period. Zooming back out the way then and seeing between that previous low 24th of February and where we are now, could that possibly act as hidden bullish divergence? And that's this kind of general area up to here. Well, you know, that could certainly be the case if we were to push on up the way. But we have had, of course, the warning signs about this in the past with the highs that we got in there at 62k. That was a decent profit taking target, and that was the bearish divergences that we saw on the top there. So really we are just still kind of more or less what we laid out on Monday, having had the one move, I suppose, that was on the cards that was within sort of not being greedy territory, having kind of, you know, more or less happened now. Will we see it pushing on up the way and going towards the top end of the Bollinger Bands at 59,900? That would be a nice profit taking target if you've got anything left on the table, I suppose, if that's how you want to look at it. If we pull back down the way, can we see support happening in there at the 56k or down as far as 55,555? Without actually pushing any further? If we do go on down further, then it starts to look like a bit of a downward trend, and we see these oscillators coming in to try and give us a test off of the lower bearish control zones, etc. That's all on the 4-hour time frame. 24-hour time frame, you know, what we're actually seeing, of course, is a nice couple of green candles here. Could we then get that third green candle and push up towards that 60,000 and maybe going for 3 advancing white soldiers, etc., to end this downward movement and push up the way? Or will it ultimately turn around here, and then in that case you're kind of looking at it and saying, well, is this a bit of a sort of flagging type thing that's going on, or have we got that psychology of the cup with handle type idea of us moving back down of a 50% retrace? Not the psychology of the cup with handle necessarily, but certainly in terms of the ebbs and flows that we've had so far in the markets. Let me remind you that in last on Monday I did an educational little section about 35 minutes in or so, where I looked at the Fibonacci trend retracement tool and talking about how we've been retracing back down overall recently with regards to that 50% movement down there. So what we'd be looking at would be, if we're going to see the prices dropping down to the 50% line of this, which is of course that 52,000 area, and that's what the eyes are still on if you're looking for the next sort of best re-entry, if we're going to actually continue to go up the way and not break that in the meantime. So that's your critical path there. You know, if we're going up past the 59,000, 60,000 area, then, you know, you kind of broken that critical path. Turn around here, go down to the 56,000 and don't continue, then you kind of broken that. But that's your sort of set. That's the way that would go overall with that. Right, yeah, cool. So that's cool. That's Bitcoin done. We can come back and do Ethereum. No, wait, we'll save the Top Shop stuff for after we've done the TA, so that we can get on with our work. This is what we were talking about on Monday. It seems that TradingView has reverted my drawings on the chart yet again, but there you have it. That's just what happens. And of course this is just going to go along exactly as the story was that we spoke about on Monday as well. So can we push on up past the sort of 1888 area, really take out that 786 there and push up the way and actually try and break this higher high and lower low type in between phase that we've had on the go for the last wee while here, or not, you know? And that's really just what we're waiting for. This is a form of sort of consolidation at this point. Let's just see how it plays out. We've got a couple of things having happened in the past, such as the downward break that we had of that this triangle that we drew on the charts over here, the RSI. But looking at the lower side of it, you know, it's still just the same thing. Can we break above the top end of that? Really, as still the question that we're looking at. Can we do it? That was expressing the bearish divergence that we had before. Now includes this lower high, which is there. You know, will we go on and put in lower lows, price action, and oscillators down below with convergence to the downside? Will it not have the lower low in terms of price action, but get one down here and give us a hidden bullish divergence if we pulled back? Or will we break past this yellow line up towards the top side, burn off that bearish divergence that we had previously, and take out the targets at 2000? And that's the setup right now, and it's been expressed in terms of the indecision in the markets when you look above onto a bigger time frame period, such as this 3-day here, as you're kind of seeing on the charts, as you're kind of seeing there with that indecision, and we're just waiting to see if that happens, and we're going to be able to kind of say, if it does happen, there's the potential for us to get something all the way up as high as the mid 2000s, but we'll not get too carried away at the minute. If we do push past all of our previous target's kind of what we're looking towards, is 2,500 with the 1618 on that Fibonacci retracement. Suffice it to say, currently that being above the 17777 area is very, very, very good that we're above that, and we want to see that continue. Obviously, looking at the lows of today, we dip our toes beneath that, find out the bathwater is a little bit too hot, take our foot out again. Let's not get too comfortable with going down below that area, is kind of what I'm saying there. So we might find ourselves in hot water. Nice segue on towards the link price action. Okay, so we did actually see a nice little decision coming from the market here, turning this around, the movement down the way, forcing the price action itself into what now appears to be this kind of channel type shape. Then we can kind of ignore this as, again, really overall this is what we were talking about before in last week's show, where we had the triangle type formation that you could draw around the prices. Will we get a breakout of this and push up the way? Well, we're right at that key area at the minute at $31. That's the profit taking zone right in here at the 618 golden pocket. So this is happening right now. That's why we're seeing the prices having retraced a little bit from where they have. Check it out for Micah. That's quality. Get some quality biscuits in, mate. Thanks so much for the quality biscuits. Excellent. I love quality biscuits. We're talking, the lowest I'll look in terms of my biscuits will be to that sort of Fox's biscuits category. I'll maybe even take something from the bakery. Whoa, fancy, right? Just anyway, that's why we're seeing this pullback here. That's exactly, if anybody was asking, if you were thinking about things like from a point of view, as everybody so often does, we've moved all the way up here. Why are we struggling at this particular price point? Well, when you look down so close that you can't see the woods for the trees, that's maybe why you find yourself asking that. Go up towards 4 time frame. We can see that we pushed outside the Bollinger Bands, having to retrace back into them, and that ties in perfectly with having come up for a 618 golden pocket retrace, right? So this is what we're looking at. If we do fall back down the way, best buying prices at the minute coming at about that $28.50 area on the old chain linky bobs. That would be actually considerably decent price action if we were to able to continue to go up the way, having taken out this previous low in high on the 13th of March, right? That's nice to have taken out the anniversary of the market crash there. And can we then continue to go on up the way? We're having to look towards our next target. That is, of course, the 33 area. As we spoke about before, that would be nice to take. You can see the 4-hour time Bollinger Band isn't giving us a lot of room to breathe, but as you can see in the 24-hour time frame, that is actually the case, that we do have that room to breathe. And on the 1-hour time frame, as you can see, as a result of this little bit of the retrace back in, as expressed by this retouching of the Bollinger Band here in the 4-hour time frame, that of course that we're starting to get that there. So it's a matter of kind of coming together here in the medium term frame and saying, can we actually manage to push on up the way and turn what this this section here into positivity, and like as we can see here in the RSI, for instance, turn it all into positivity, etc., and then of course go in that direction. But if we're not able to do so, then we will be looking out for the key areas of the 236 area that we spoke about a fair amount in the past. The where is it here? If I just scroll over to the right, is it? Yeah. $28.70. So that $29 down to $28. That zone is obviously our danger zone. If we can find support in at $27 to $26, that's excellent. But that's obviously you taking the risk of not pushing down lower. Obviously moves like that, then be judicious on any moves back up the way with regards to where you take profit at, because at that stage you maybe be looking at here and saying that we don't get another higher high, and that could have been a false dawn overall. But everything at the minute stands to be looking good. So the last thing to kind of put that all into context is kind of handy is when you've got the DMI, and what we can actually see over here for our DMI, that they've actually got the strength of trend just here with this cross, a positive cross. This is a perfect setup at the minute in that sense. As we pushed up past that candle, if we did get a setup, overall, if we got a pullback down to $28, $29 or so, 29 to 28. That would be ideal at the minute if we're going to continue to go up the way with strength in the immediacy. A lot of headiness above us with regards to there's bad weather up above if we don't push past that $31 area. So it all depends on how exactly you're framing your thoughts at the minute. Clearly movements past 33, etc., do kind of open up the floodgates perhaps for bigger moves up the way. Then you're starting to talk about big enough percentage moves. So what we're really saying here in many ways, as we always know on the show, that what your job as a trader is to do is to manage the sort of the purchasing and selling, the acquisition and release, I guess, of risk. This particular 7% chunk in price action is significantly more harder to manage your risk than even the following 10% chunk in price action towards the top side. Likewise, with any sort of regards to any sorts of movements down the way, this area down 7.74 is kind of the potential sort of pullback down the way. Of course, that's actually potential there, but you know, if then this area here is actually still okay. At the minute, we're in a position where we could push up the way. That's what I'm saying. There's be judicious with your profit taking up there. There's a couple of zones that we could go to, and if we go through either of them, then what you're doing is translating one move across time frame to another. Like this is kind of you know, what a lot of traders really struggle with, and I imagine a lot of new traders is this concept I kind of identified earlier on, is that what you're looking for when you're taking a move on one particular chart is if it's a counter trend move on that particular timeline line is for a resumption of the prior trend, which is prior, you know, you'd be identifying that by looking towards a larger time frame. So here in the 15-minute time frame, there's this sideways action, a little bit down, and what you're looking at then is kind of saying as well in the 30-minute time frame that when you're taking a move against this overall here in the 30 minutes, that you're looking for a resumption of a higher time frame move. And then here in the 4-hour time frame, then I suppose what you're looking for is for this to continue up the way, and to break this, and break this downward time frame, you know, trend. The 4-hour the trend, you know, is like this low, that high, this higher low, that higher high. Some higher low perhaps in here and pushing up the way, but the big question mark with the trend is, you know, in this area, because we've got this high low, lower low, and right now this is why we're asking questions about it. So then you go on up again the way towards the 12-hour, 24-hour, etc., and it doesn't take you long to get back over to saying, well, overall the prices are in an upward trend. And clearly then when you're looking at the 33 up the way towards the previous highs, it's 37 zone. That's a different sort of ball game to what we're playing right now, which is kind of in the thick of it, if you like. But you know, we've done what we wanted to see happen so far in terms of profit taking, with another 618 move. So you know, let's just see how this little bit sort of resolves at the minute. That's our duty as the trader, because of course we've taken advantage of things like hidden bullish divergence off the back of this, up to the point at which we've got to our key area. This is the heightened risk moving on afterwards with better trend ability to perceive that trend because of that 4-hour resolution that you'd get. And the 24-hour time frames, high, low, lower high potentially here on Tezos, and again the same sort of story on a different perspective, of course, with the trend. But can we beat past this and actually push up the way? If we can take out, you know, first off this downward sloping trend line there, but if we can actually push past that area, then maybe we've got something happening here, you know, and that's going to be this sort of 450 zone. Now we've come up again today. The highs you can see here on the day 445 essentially here on this chart. So we've come up the way again. It's really great, lovely 10% moves from that 392. You know, it was nice to see it at 392. If it had broken down the way, happy to let anything go. Moved up towards the 440, giving us that 10% move plus. Lovely jubbly profit taken then occurred here, as you can see at the top end of the Bollinger Band, and things just are going along as ever with Tezos, in a lovely to trade environment. Tezos, and it's one of the ones that I recommend to new traders frequently. Now what we are waiting to see is of course the resolution of that idea right there with the triangle. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? You know, and the 3-day time frame showing us that this indecision here has been really obvious, you know, over the period of the last 9 days, with doji candles coming in overall for them. So we need to see something sustained happening, right? Sustained. We want to see that happening with a degree of actual resilience to stay above things. Now I've got overlapping drawings on this here, quite a lot, you know, too many of them, but we can see that there's this orange line right here. That's where we want to see the prices staying above, and the reasons for that are because of Fibonacci reasons, right? Fibonacci reasons. Just draw in your right, cool, excellent stuff. Really, overall, that's if you know, we've had some nice moves. Prices have pulled back a little bit from them. Let's see how they go. You know, Tezos, if it's able to go up the way it could, this hidden bullish divergence still yet to fully play out. I'm not going to say something along the lines of an inverted head and shoulders, but you get the idea of the psychology if you understand what it really means to have, you know, highs, troughs, highs, troughs, highs, and then the ability to turn around. It's not so much the inverted head and shoulders, really, but it is this idea of, will we be able to break above this diagonal line? The diagonal line is if we can break above it, then we know that from prior volatility and price action that there's the appetite within this coin to move. You know what we're looking at here, like 70-80% moves easy. So we can see this sort of thing happen with a couple of dollars being stacked onto the price should we really push past things. But it's just a series of horizontal resistance all the way along, you know, like with that there, it's hard to see, I suppose, that there, and then the previous tops, etc. So you know we've got all these areas to push through, each one of them offering different nice trading opportunities. $5.06 up, so that would be my target up away again. It's nice. Tesla's working along 10% chunk lines for us. And as regards to the link price, well, it might not be so sort of 10% chunks with prices quite maybe so clearly. It kind of is quite similar. $30 here at the minute is this inflection point pivot area for us. If we can push up to 33, that's going to be the next great big pivot, and that leads on to then 20% chunk up in price, or another 10% chunk up in prices actually then thereafter. Yeah, similar sort of deal. So 10% moves here all around, just keep an eye out for that. As you can see, 10% today is just giving you that example of what I meant about how we've had some. That's the sort of thing to look out for. Here we have it with Ethereum, USDT. We're asking the questions about how will we see this consolidation slash distribution slash accumulation play out overall in this period. It's not really got a clear signature on it. That's why we're looking at it and calling it one of those stupid diamond things. And if we get to push up the way, we've got targets up there towards the mid 2k areas such as the 1618, but we don't need to get greedy on it. We already know that there's key areas such as $2,000, all of them again representing, like, you know, the 10% chunk moves. Let's try and stay above 1750, and then of course as long as things are above 1650, we're looking pretty good. When we get down past, if we get down past the 1500s, then of course you're looking at a change in trend currently, at least in the medium term at that point. But of course as well, the continuation of the trend is very much, you know, knocking on that potential for us. Here we have it on the Bitcoin price action. Too much noise on there. Just suffice it to say that over the period of the last wee while, we've seen rises up followed by 50% retraces. Rise up here. Has it had a 50% retrace? Well, not quite overall. Here we go with the noise again. Where is the 50% on this? It's too much noise. Give me a different chart. Different chart. Where is my 50% Fibonacci retracement tool? Oh my god. Right. Here. Empty chart. Yeah, that's good. Great. Oops, wrong direction. So, not that it matters when you're looking at the 50%. So yeah, right. Actually, we have had it. Is that right? Is that what we've had? Yeah, we've got pretty close. Close enough is close enough for that $53,000 that we went down to. So, you know, we've had that move. Can we then move on up the way and do what we've done all these other times? You know, failure to take out the highs is a symptom of being in a wedge type, you know, tightening pattern, tightening price action overall. So, you know, any movements down past that would resolve out with a higher time frame, sort of higher low coming in anywhere above the 45,000 is fine still. But then of course, you know, we can move on up the way, and we've got clear targets all the way up from 63,000 where we've been recently, as high as 77,000, but we'll look at 69,000 actually. 69 is what we're kind of going to keep our eye out for. I'm going to catch up with the chit chat in here for a minute or two and see how you're all getting on. How long have we been at this stream so far? 23 minutes. Excellent. Gone around the world already and done the technical analysis. So let's see how dare you say that and not open it. Okay, I'm going to open it. Don't worry, Ethan. It's going to happen. NFTs. Yes, I'm excited. Who let the bulls out? Tea time with Rocky. Yes, good to see you, buddy. Zoner, did you see Powell's speech when asked about tapering? He was like, no, mwahahaha. Sorry, brother, I didn't see that. Michael John Scott says he missed it. Let's see who else is chatting here. Biscuits, yes, biscuits are going to be great. There will be biscuits. Any chance of a pullback anywhere? Cardano, BTC, Ethereum, or something where it's worth buying in? I liquidated my Cardano too early and don't want to FOMO in while everything takes off. Well, you're just talking about the whether or not, you know, essentially we're going to see, you know, this resolve by pushing towards the top side and taking it at 618, or indeed continuing down the way, following on from that 618 retrace. You know, we've got targets down below which it could go down to in terms of the Bitcoin dominance. This is what we're looking at here. An easy one of them is, of course, down there at 60. That's a couple of points off so far, but we've also got easy targets towards the top side, and the median line of the Bollinger Band is 62, 63, 64. So there's a few percentage point moves, but right now we're on a doji day. So like you're asking, is there going to be a pullback? When, yeah, of course, you know, there's been plenty of pullbacks. There's always pullbacks, plenty of pullbacks all the time. They happen all the time. Cardano managed to take out its 236 Fibonacci retracement point here at that $1.15 area. It's moving towards the top side ever since 132. Fantastic. 30% gain since its lows down there at that 98-cent area. Lovely jubbly, lovely jubbly. We obviously want to see it staying above that 117 area now that we've managed to recapture it, and we're halfway. You know, we're between points at the minute. We've got a new high, so of course we could pull back the way. If we did see a pullback, that's a 3-day time frame. So if we did see a pullback, then actually what we're looking at is then that we would have that bearish divergence. Yep. So if we did see one from here, then you could get a nice decent pullback on this one. That might be worth buying into. Then again, of course, it's happening at a fairly dodgy time for that to happen. I'd rather see this push up the way. I'd rather see it push up the way, then get a pullback. But you know what you're going to do if we did see one. This is bullish. This is hitting bullish divergence. We're right at an inflection point while the Bitcoin dominance is putting in a doji candle. You know, there's no such thing as coincidences. Here we have the dot chart, still again above that 236. Yep, that's correct placement for it. 41414 Fibonacci retracement extension point taken out already in those targets towards the top side. That was obviously fairly lovely in terms of this big rise up the way. Nice consolidation here. If we did push down the way, could we find support at that? I don't know necessarily. That would be a bit of a tough ask. We have got low high, higher low, higher high, higher low happening for us right now. It's a little bit tight though. If we push past, well, I mean, if we go up to past 42 on dot, then kiss goodbye to seeing $18 for the next wee while. But if we went down to $18, it doesn't preclude us going up to 42. So that kind of answers your question on that front, I guess. But it's not exactly what you're talking about. Then what else do we have? Because we've got plenty of other coins in here. Kava's had a bit of movement. Whoa, but not much. What are we going to look at? Here's been one of the stars so far, and you see it was up as sort of as high as $10 or 10 cents, you know, nearly 11 cents, came down as low as 7 cents. So this is over the last few days. I mean, it's hard to answer your question overall, buddy, because as you can see over the last few days, we've of course had plenty of them in the markets. When it comes to looking at Bitcoin, then really, as I've been saying as well, that you're experiencing volatility, but it's just little intraday trading, scalp moves that are happening, or of course leverage people getting wiped out, and that's the case easily to be seen whenever you're looking at any sort of distribution or accumulation or consolidation phase, any of that sort of stuff that's happening in Bitcoin, with a relatively tight range in terms of price, in terms of percentages, but a fairly wide range in terms of wiping folk out, no doubt. Smash the like button, everybody. Yes, smash it into oblivion. I would really appreciate that. Helps the YouTube algorithm know that we exist. Knock knock, YouTube algorithm. We're all hitting like over here. Send some more folk to the party. Phallic Doctor says, looks like a seminal vesicle. So, you know, you don't get comments like that every day. Nice to have you here. Anlag Shithole says, his name there says, no pullback, just a pull out. There you go. So I wonder if those two know each other. It's almost as if they do. Formica ups, not Montrose. It was meant to say Monero. Wait, what's there? Yeah, Grayscale have been good to me. Next to likely be listed are Avi Cosmos Montrose. Monero dot and reserve rights. Well, it'd be funny putting Monero in their fund, wouldn't it? Right, cool. Who let the bulls out? So what we have over here is NBA Top Shot. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, NBA Top Shot. And I have my pre-order pack. How about I open it up? Wouldn't that be exciting? Navanethan is maybe missing out. QQQ, hi Rocky, hi QQQ. Did you know your name's a ticker on the charts? I wonder if you did. So this will be fun. I'll leave the comments up here. I was going to go to the big me and open it up that way, but we'll leave it here so that you can see, because some of y'all might know these basketballiers. Basketballiers, what do we call them? What do we call them? I was joking with Nav and Ethan about this recently. Ballers, yo, but of course, basketballiers, basketballiticians. Let's see if we've got any nice moments from any... Yay, Nav and Ethan. Let's see if we've got any nice moments from these basketpoliticians here. But this is, of course, the Series 2 Release 21. And the excitement starts here, ladies and gents. Excellent. You can see it all up on screen there. Let's see if you recognize any of these folk. We're going for low serial numbers, of course. We want to have the number ones if we can get them. And we're going for anything that says anything like LeBron on the packet. Right. This is exciting. Okay, so it's 3 cards that we've got, folks. What one? Let's just let the chat do it. Let's do this together. What one do you want to open up first? Left, middle, or right? Get your votes in now. The first person to get their vote in is the one that that wins, and I'll be doing that one first. Then I'm excited to see what they are. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, the elite have always been at the top of the league when it comes to hiding money away from Taxman. Anyways possible, guaranteed they'll use Monero, says Michael John Scott. Well, wouldn't it be cool if there was something out there that used NFTs? We're kind of thinking about that as part of the Picnic Network stuff for the future as well. Don't have anybody. Oh, we have Michael John Scott coming in with saying left. Let's go. Oh, Rook Trade said right. Sorry, I missed you. So, well, truly random. You never know who's going to win. Right, what have we got here? We have, where's my blooming serial there? Serial number 33,000. 33,000, not the number I was hoping for when it's so close to the 35,000. So close. Still, right, excellent, nice one. So that's that one. That's that one. I thought it would have some animation on it. It doesn't have that at the minute. That's cool. That's cool. We got it right. Let's go for. Thanks very much. Cheers, Scott, man. Actually, funnily enough, the guy that made this very hat is the guy that put the message in before you on the chat. Good to have you here, Scott, man. All right, cool. I'm doing my next one. I'm going to go with right this time, just like Rook Trade. Come on, 23,787. That's not what we wanted. Jarrett Allen from January 20. It's a block though. I like the blocks. They don't get enough. They don't get enough look-ins. Why is it not loading? Come on, load NBA Top Shot. NBA Top Shot does like to keep you waiting at times. Is there a pay your taxes Top Shot? Nice to have you here, Crypto Planet. Right, looks like we'll get to see the picture on that one at another time. Oh, we have it here. Or we do and we don't. Half and half. Nice hair, my friend. Excellent. I'm pleased with the haircut of that one, at the very least, on there. Right, cool. We got another dunk here. What's their serial on it? 30,000. Oh, well, it was a bit of a... Right, we didn't get any serial number, top-picked serial numbers in this one, and we didn't get anything super special, but we got some nice cards, no less. Nice dunk there. Got another dunk from a guy that looks a bit like me here. This is what I looked like. This is a guy that looks like me, Steven Adams. He looks a bit like me laterally, and there's me when I was at uni over there. Bit better skin color, a bit healthier looking, and of course that afro that I had back in the day over there. Of course, Scott himself might remember that. TradeSpot might remember that. Nice one. The wise man's like $50. Excellent, excellent. Never sniff at any of these. Although, do we keep them forever? Do we keep them forever? Just keep them forever and ever and ever. This certainly appeals to the hoarder in me, NBA Top Shot. 100% appeals to that hoarder in me. I've got to check them out later on, see how they line up in my collection, maybe pick up any of the Boston Celtics that are on the marketplace, going cheap if there are any. There's a couple of decent ones that I want to pick up, but they are they've moved outside of my willing to bid price range over the last wee while. Missed that fro, says Scott Jones. It's good to have you here, by the way, Scott, man. It's nice to see you. It's 33 minutes into this stream, and I'm already getting towards the point where I'm starting to look towards wrapping it up. Actually, it'll be one of my shorter streams for a while. I wonder if I could get a picture of that. I can't get a picture of that up like immediately. Maybe get a picture of that for the next stream. Can you check SXP, mate? SXP. All right, SXP. All right, right. So here we have it. This is what Swipe, right? Swipe versus Tether. Ding dong. We've got a couple of tops here, of course, but a bit of the old bearish divergence on the go, or is it? Not quite here in the 24-hour time frame. Did we beat it on a 4-hour though, and maybe put in some like that? So yeah, so we see that we closed out higher here on the 4-hour than we did in the previous 4-hour section. So we actually did come in with bearish divergence here, maybe not immediately noticeable, pardon me, between these two highs, given that this one actually closed higher and then we pulled down the weight, which is kind of in one of those flattering to deceive moments, which is nice, you know. So this just identifies to us the clear need to really push past that zone, and of course then stay above this zone. And this is, you know, lining up perfectly with what we're seeing with the Bollinger Bands, obviously, and then this inflection zone in the middle. It's not, you know, it's not really that surprising. This will be easier to kind of put this into context for you when I point out the fact that obviously that we're below the 236 in here at $3.30, but we are of course above the 50%, having actually come in here and tested it at $2.74. So, you know, we're in that decision making mode that you would expect to see. If it dropped down to something like a 30-minute time frame, then you may be able to look at this and say, that, yeah, it's just kind of trending down the way, bit of bullish divergence just here at these lows, the pushed up the way, we haven't broken that area there. Yeah, okay, so if you're trading this in terms of the short term, then you kind of like your sort of your trading area is going to, your zone that you're looking to, I suppose, here is going to be here, anywhere up here is decent profit taking, or it's going to be well, that's a bit like there, you know. That would be nice if we could come in for a higher high here. I would expect to see a potential for us to actually get, you know, a profit taken coming in there at that 330 area, should we see the prices going up towards that. But we need to take out these previous highs, obviously, as well. With this downward move, this volatility came in here, we then actually fulfilled that already. So yeah, cool. Like, this has got a bit of the bullish divergence on the short-term time frames. 4-hour time frame gives you the impression that, you know, so long as we stay above the 20 period moving average, which indeed, you know, is the baseline of the Bollinger Band here, and is oh, well, I was going to say is pointing towards the top side. It's just kind of ticking down the way. If we can keep this overall, get this to start curving towards the top side and us stay within it, then good. We'd have a good chance of latching onto the Bollinger Band here and pushing on up the way and doing all of the good things we want to see happen. But, you know, it's not gonna until such times as we actually, we're consolidating just here, you know, and it's high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and so far, by virtue of the fact that we haven't gone down past 291 or $3 really, since we haven't closed below $3 today, we haven't closed down below there, then you can say that things are good potentially. But obviously not until we've changed this smaller trend that we're in. This is what I was talking about before. So any sort of counter trend move, this is what I tried to give a wee lesson on earlier on. Any sort of counter trend move on a time frame such as this is in the assumption that you're going to have a resumption of the previous upward trend, you know, and that is what underpins the analysis of Fibonacci, etc. You can see this is the range that we're operating within overall here. This is going to be your median line, you know, operating below that, then you're looking for shorts down here for resistance and our support. 180 at this stage might be a bit much if we actually tighten up, so it would probably be wise if you're looking at this in terms of like you know, just thinking about it in terms of liquidity zones, because and that range, those ranges, you know, that you're looking at, that would be the one towards the downside. Similar sort of aspect towards the top, maybe with a bit more give and go there, because overall the prior trend was of course towards the top side, and the trend is your friend until the end of the trend, and we want to see that continue. What we do actually have here is this volatility coming in. I want to see this if this is going to, you know, be like this, I want it to happen all the way up towards the top, so that when we come back down again, that we're retesting the previous high. The way this looks at the minute is like maybe that we have that we continue just one last blast down here towards the 260s, maybe get 10% down and then 10% back up the way, but that's, you know, forcing me to give you an opinion, I suppose, on something. It's just broadening out as well. Kind of sucks. The target on this is clearly at 365 if you are looking towards the top side. So there's 20% to be had there. I don't think that I'd be wanting to sort of, you know, just dive in immediately. I never do when I'm looking at charts. I always look for a better place than the here and now, but there we go. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Scott, man. Cheers. Thanks very much. Happy St. Patrick's Day to absolutely everybody. out there in the world. Can you check SXP? So we checked it just there now. Sup Rocky, sup chat, Scotty Sniper. How? You Tim? XXP BTC is very interesting on the weekly. Well, let's get it up then, shall we? SXP BTC on the weekly. By interesting, do you mean exactly the same as everything I just spent the last 5 minutes talking about? Oh, the weekly, you said. Sorry, the weekly. Right, cool. Yeah, cool. Actually, I see what you're talking about there. What's it like on the dollar on the weekly, though? Because this thing obviously just shat its pants for ages. Super interested on the weekly on the USDT, where you have this cup with handle type idea on the go. Big retrace back down the way. I'll go back to the Bitcoin price in a second. That'll be the last sort of thing that I do. 50%, got the 618. In fact, overall moving up the way thereafter. Potential target on this if it wants to just go for the full blast off. Talking between 59 and up to 350. So you're talking the target for this is taking up between $6 and $7. Up $6 and $7. This is the area up towards the top side. If you're looking at that as having a sort of the potential for that type of a blast off up the way is ridiculous, but so could it happen? Yeah, it could. I'm not a massive fan of XXP. They could do better. I think they have done a lot better. They fixed everything up sometime around here towards the end of their descent, I guess, and got a lot better over the last sort of 6 months. Could do better still, but still, yeah, good. Okay. So then over on the Bitcoin pricing, then what we're seeing is this is not the same story at all. Not the same story, actually. Really, I think maybe I suggested it was a minute ago, but whatever. Miles away from that 236. Drawn into the bodies though. This is the weekly time frame. We can see that there was a bit more, to be said about that area. Going body to body, since it's so shallow down here, just to kind of be as generous as possible to this one. We need to take out, when you say it's very interesting, I mean it's very interesting in the sense that it put in new lows here in January when everything else was going up. I mean, that's interesting in the fact that it took a wee while longer to, or well, actually no, let me just make a quick comparison. No, yeah, it started at the same time as everything else, so that's not particularly bring on some moving averages. So we've just managed to recover the 8. That's good. So we're doing better now than we have done for the last couple of months. That's kind of obvious on there anyway. Let's put on the 18 though. Still a bit to go on this one. Could be good to see it cross. I mean, obviously these are not going to show up now because there's not enough historical information there for that. So that's decent. Making the comparison down the way, got that positive cross there recently as well today. This is one that could start to be nice for a trend for us. If we can push past those areas, then we get a nice movement towards the top side. Various kind of cup with handle type ideologies can be sought out here in lower term time frames. As you can see, another type of this, we're looking for that push past the 62,000. 6,300 or 63,000, whatever it is, Satoshi number. This is at the call is 5,300. We needed to go past 6,250 or 6,300 to be good, and that would be very interesting. Next move up the way would be potentially another 30%, 20% move up the way. That'd be nice overall. If I'm trading on a lower time frame, like the 5 to 50 minute, what's the highest time frame you might reference to identify a trend? Well, that depends, doesn't it? Like, look at this here. Suppose here's the 50-minute time frame here, and we can see the trend is well, you could say that the trend's started to go towards the top side since back over here with this low high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and that's decent. But we can see when we look up towards the 24-hour time frame that for the last month it's been going sideways, like with sure a range on it, which is like quite a lot in terms of percentages, 100% range, but it's sideways. So like it depends on what you're trading, because when you've got a range of 100%, just put this into context, like 100%. Let me just like say, looking back over the last period of time in this since the lows that we had there last year in March on the Dow Jones up to the highs that we've got, that's 83%. So like this is looking back over the period of over a year of price action, which has been very bullish following on a market crash after a pandemic, and it's got us 83%. And looking at that other chart, you're looking at 100% over the period of the last month, and it's really all been inside of a range as opposed to as a huge recovery following on from massive government stimulus. So it depends on what type of cake you're what you're doing. Depends what you're doing, what you're looking at. You'd have to make an assessment of what the kind of true range is over a period of time for what a trend could look like, because how likely is it to be trading in one direction or another whenever the range of price action over, say, the last month has been within 10% compared to when it's been within 100%. Well, you're going to have periods of greater volatility within that other one, while from a bigger point of view it's within what is quite conceivably a sideways moving market, despite that. So that's the world that we're in. I can't really give you a simple answer to that one, while your question kind of makes it sound like there could be one. If it was to just like look at it, I suppose, from the point of view of Bitcoin, just knowing little things like the last couple of days we've seen price action that's been about 10%. Then kind of looking over here in the 12-hour time frame, we can see that we're trending towards the top side, we have been on all of them for a long time. So going all the way down the way that it's like get down towards the 4-hour time frame, we've got the sort of, this is a potential for a trend. So this is why we were talking about this and saying, well, maybe we would see a turnaround at this point. So what you need to do is you need to know that when you're looking at this in the 50-minute time frame, that you got it goes one direction, then it goes another direction, then it goes back to being the other direction again overall. And it's not so much about limiting yourself like that. I mean, it only takes a couple of minutes to go through it. So I would just say identify the phase of the trends that you're in, and layer it up a little bit. Pretty much, potentially breaking this large 5 months long structure. Yeah. It's a long time. It's been a long time, and it's been a big movement. And then the chances of us getting then big movements up the way are totally there. And wouldn't that be nice? It would be very, very, very nice indeed. I'm sure it would be very, very nice indeed. By the way, if you're watching this right now, as I'm assuming that you are, would you hit that like button? I'd really appreciate it. It helps everybody out there in the world know that there's something to be liked over here. Now, of course, if you dislike it, then hit the button 3 times. Thanks so much to everybody for tuning in, by the way. I really, really, really do appreciate it. That was a good laugh opening up that NBA Top Shop pack there. It's a shame I didn't get a amazing one, but it brings back all those memories of when I was a kid. Stop doing that tisk noise, Rocky. Stop it. The plausible stops, or what are they called? No, they're not plausible stops. Whatever. Yeah, it reminds me of collecting the football stickers when I was a kid, and I love that. I'll be enjoying it whenever the Scotland gets its own one of those. I wanted to set one of them up. Trazebot and I discussed that about 2 years ago, but you're dealing with Scottish people, and it's not that easy, as Scottish Sniper can probably attest. Moon the Picnic and Telegram. Oh, great. Yes, everybody go on over to docs.picnic.network. That's right, docs.picnic.network if you would like to read this document. Now, I've actually made it public. There is in the chat, I've just shared a link to it, and you can read all about the Picnic network. It's a new paradigm in DeFi with an innovative method to distribute the value of the network effect. If you want to read all about it, then you can here in our documentation part of the website. Of course, if you're looking to then be a part of our Twitter and Telegram, then please do, and you can find the links to all of those easiest in here right there at picnic.network, and you can see that there's the link to the white paper, and here is the link to our Twitter, and of course it is twitter.com/picnic Picnic Network, all one word. Give us a follow over there. Just come along, hit that follow button just like that, and do it. We'd really, really, really appreciate it. Moon it up, everybody. We've got just a few followers, so come on, let's see if we can get some more. Would that be amazing? Do that, people, do that. And then the Telegram as well, so you can get that Telegram link. Just hit the old paper airplane there and join the Telegram and start getting some activity in there. It would be fantastic to get a little bit of the old social activity. What's the Twitter? The Twitter is twitter.com/picnic network, all one word, picnic network on Twitter. That'd be quality if everybody could get involved there. I'd really appreciate it. Why Adam Moon says AF Krager? Well, that's a hard one to answer. Let's just take a look at docs.picnic.network and see if there's any. Oh no, there isn't any answers in there about that one. But what there is loads of great information about a cryptocurrency that we are developing here. The team behind Rocky Outcrop, you could say, is developing this one, and we have got it all written out here, and we invite you to come along and read all about it. There's plenty of information, and you will be able to spend the afternoon reading all about this fantastic new token, and then of course get involved and let us know your thoughts. In fact, I should really probably get the Google form link as well. So I'll just go grab that for us, and I'll pop that into the chat. If you could go to that Google form afterwards and let us know what you think, that would be really, really appreciated. In fact, I suppose, yeah, go Team Picnic. That'll do, actually. Yeah, that'll do. Great. Nice one. Sean Gray, nice to have you here, Sean Gray. How you doing? How you doing, Sean Gray? Look at that, the price of Bitcoin's 58,000. Oh my god, that's amazing. What am I looking at here? Bitcoin USD, 58,000. Can you believe it? 58,000 on 3 different exchanges all at once. What's happened? Is Bitcoin broken? The new stable coin. It has found its price. Supply and demand. Oh no, it's back at 58,000. Yes, supply and demand is finally leveled out. Here's one side of that, supply, and here's another side, demand. And as you can see, they've actually leveled out bang on there at 58,000, the new stable coin. So anybody looking to invest in any assets at the minute, then just so you know, Bitcoin has now become a stable. Wait, 58,027. Sorry, I take it all back. 58,000. No, it's okay. We're at 58,000. It's a stable coin, ladies and gents. Nice, secure store of value. Keep your thing. Oh, 58,039. Whoops. I'm going to have to practice this whole TA thing. If anybody's got any of those tips on TA, be sure to send them through to me. Or in fact, if you're looking for tips on TA, then why not join the Patreon? Because I actually like to help people very, very much. If you are looking for some help with your trading, then go over to patreon.com/rocky.outcrop and join on up. By joining that, you actually get access to a Discord, and within that Discord you will find some very, very friendly people who are willing to help you. Now, of course, this is very much early days there, and we're building a community. We are building a community. It's funny that I say that, early days, but we are YouTube's best kept secret here, with around about 1,200 videos uploaded to YouTube. But still not actually having thousands upon thousands of subscribers. And the benefit that that actually offers at the minute is that I'm really capable, therefore, of helping people on a one-to-one basis. And of course, they're capable of helping each other without getting drowned in chat. So that's the best place, is the best VIP place. And it's nice to see some people here in there amongst it. I mean, we've got WalQ, who just said hello, hello, for instance. Now, he is, of course, a member there. And there are plenty of other members here who have joined us to say hello in the chat. So thanks so much to everybody for that. Join in with the Discord. I'd really appreciate that. To do so, just go on over to patreon.com. Now, there is a free section in the Discord where you can just kind of meet other outcropticians if you like. But now that my time demands have, you know, growing so much all the time with all the amount of work that I have to do across the different various projects that I'm actually involved in at the minute, primarily, of course, Picnic Network, I'm going to have to cut down on the amount of time that I spend in answering individuals, which means that if you're not a part of the Patreon, then I'll not really be able to dispense that one-on-one attention to you, which otherwise perhaps I would do normally. So best way to get that, join the Patreon, all that good stuff. Thanks so much to everybody for being a part of that. By the way, check it out, there's more patrons in there as well. Ollie is fantastic. What's the biz what? Rocky approx, what's the biz what? Yes, ups, indeed, that's right. I concur precisely with you there, for Micah. Right, so how about I fling up the Juan Carlos, what are you saying? Do I think that right, yeah, maybe it could, right? What we're looking at here with Cardano, Juan Carlos wants to know, okay, so let me just bring up Cardano. And well, what we have seen, of course, was this big top. This is the 15-minute time frame. That's not enough. 24-hour time frame. Here we go. So you can see that we came all the way up here to 143, and that's fantastic. And as we look back, the way we can see, and I'm assuming that you're looking at this versus the dollar at the minute, what you can see is that we've successfully managed to take out the bodies of our previous one, and of course we're getting that previous high, and of course we're getting that little bit of rejection, that little bit of price profit taking happening just here. It's just, and we've pushed back down a little bit. However, what we had with this previous low was hidden bullish divergence, taking out that market structure, managed to really slam right past the 236 again with a fantastic move towards the top side. Up here, what are we up here? 10% today, but you add it all up and we're up, 37%, 38% on the week. We were up as high as sort of 45% up on the week. So fantastic stuff, but will we see any sort of movements down? So overall, I think that it would be remiss of me to not say that should we actually manage to close out the day above this area, that market structure wise we're doing well. However, we've come up here very, very, very quickly, and that is what I was trying to get at with that 40% rise up. And what we're seeing here, of course, is that result of that is that we're in a position where we've got a bit of the old divergence on the go should we see any pullbacks. And when we look at the RSI, for example, here you can see that we're so far down compared to our previous highs, and this is where it went up to. Now that's two things at once. Obviously this means that we could just see the prices just skyrocket completely. Maybe we're looking at $2 coming up soon as well. It could mean that we have a little bit of the potential for us to pull back a wee bit, in which case we could see movements. We could see movements in either direction is kind of what I'm saying, but could we see movements down tomorrow? I would say yes, Carl Wan. We could go back down a little bit. Could even go back down a little bit tomorrow as a result of the recent price movement up the way, overall. Now we have done fantastically well, and that is not to be sniffed at, absolutely not. But movements down the way here do all represent big pullbacks in terms of prices, from the high to where we are right now, we're looking at 5%. If we were to go back down to say where we find the 18-period exponential moving average here in the 1 hour time frame, you're looking at 12%. Go down towards where the 236 is just to retest it, that's 20%. So there's huge potential for discounts here. But if we just jump back up towards the 24-hour time frame and check out how this looks with the Bollinger Bands, well, we can see that the pullback that we've had today, that 5%, has kept us within the Bollinger Band structure. If we latch on here and just go on up the way, then just keep an eye out for it. Maybe this will give you your best insights into pullbacks. Now, as we can see here, if we do come back, if we do roll over at all, then the expectation would be that we would drop down and get that 20% retrace. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Any movement down the way here at the minute does have that feeling towards it, where you come down, you visit like the 8-period exponential moving average, for example, and actually commonly here the 20-period simple moving average, that white line that forms the basis line of the Bollinger Band. So if we were to pull back down towards that area, then you're looking at 117 on this one. That's 134 at the minute, and of course then from 117 to 134, then you've got that 10% rise back up the way to account for that sort of overall 20% drop down that you could be looking at if we were to go down to there from that high. Is that right? Did I just say that right? That was from the high to go down towards that area. Well, it's not quite 20%, but you get the point. So yeah, good question. Overall, we're in a key area for us. We're seeing that market structure good, all good. We would need to then push up quite a bit to avoid having bearish divergence at the minute. Any pullbacks will see 20% discounts, plenty of good trading to be had here. Well, they'll see 10% discounts. Will they see a 20% one? That's the risk for anybody who's trading. If you're trading with leverage and you get a 10% move, then obviously that's you wiped out. You've lost 100% at that point, so you're wiped out. So, you know, you don't want to see that happening if you're trading with high leverage. Just a bit of cautionary note to anybody who does that sort of thing there. Took me a while to get the girlfriend that I don't have time to spend with her because I've got to learn TA. So I joined Patreon, but I think I'm going to have to start buying her nice things soon. Help, Rocky. That's really nice, dude, man. Thanks so much. Right, well, let's just, you know, let's all help each other. What we are here is a unique group where I'm not in this to take advantage of anybody, as you all very well know. In fact, you know, I would like to be able to sort of, you know, continue to be taken advantage of more or less overall, but I've had to, you know, narrow it down to just Patreon members, etc. Let's all help each other achieve great things, okay? Let's all help each other achieve great things. I'll help you, you help me, we'll all help each other, okay? What are you saying there? BT Pump. Jacko Cupers says BT Pump. Well, I'll check that out. So, dude, man, thank you so much. Let's all help each other achieve our goals, okay, all together. If you've got questions and you've got curiosities, then point them out. Nuanced things you notice on the charts, point them out. Help educate others. I swear to goodness, you pointing out things that you think are interesting is always a good thing. Even if they've been pointed out by 1,000 different people across time, it doesn't matter. Don't feel bad if you discover something that, you know, is already in a textbook. Feel good about it. You know, if you invent something for the first time, then very good for you. That's all good. And if you you know, so all things that you find, share them all in there and we'll discuss them all and everybody will benefit from it. Every conversation that happens doesn't need to go through me, all of it, by the way. Plenty of other good stuff. By the way, there's also a decent enough opportunity that's been shared in there. What was it that you shared it on? On TradeSpotting. What was that opportunity you shared in there, TradeSpotting? Let me just maybe have to go and check the Discord and I'll see what the opportunity was. I'm coming to an end of the stream, by the way, everybody, just so you know. Come on, log in. Come on, log in. What was it on? What was it on? Reef. It was on Reef, I remembered now anyway. So didn't have to wait for it to load. Nice potential opportunity, trading opportunity is pointed out by TradeSpotting here with regards to Reef. Let me just bring up the chart at the minute, full screen, auto, come on, actually. Right. And we spoke about this recently. And it's done this arrow that I drew in at the time. We could see that we talked about this recently, okay, and on the show. This would be nice if it turns around from here, and there's a good potential for an upward side move that could go very, 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 very much higher. But just in terms of the most simple look at things, between where we are now and the high that we put in there a couple of days ago, we're looking at a 51% move towards the top side if we were to do that alone. So there's opportunity abound here. Check out the idea that TradeSpotting shared in the lab in Discord if you are one of those premium members. Okay, cool. Hi guys, it says always learning. Sorry buddy, I'm just about to tune out. What you'll find is that this is an hour and 2 minutes long, this show. It's pretty dense in terms of the TA that we've done today. Lots of good stuff and a wee bit of fun when I opened up some Top Shop cards and all the rest of it. So I'm just diving over towards the end screen as it happens right now, bringing up the final scene. And let me just see here. What we're actually looking at is that Joel is leaving us as a patron. Oh my god, Joel. Oh my goodness, Joel, what are you doing? Why did you make that crazy decision? Who knows? Only Joel can answer for that for himself. So there we have it. But I actually have somebody else to add to the list here, so let me just get it up instead, because I need to add my other friends. Patreon.com, just bring me to it please, Google, thank you. Make sure that I've got the right names on here so I don't miss anybody. Yes, Jason. I want to put Jason on. So I could have just asked your name in the chat because, like you said, you joined it. But we're going to stick Jason on here. Nine, isn't it? I've done it wrong. 9. Oh, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, this is 8. I'm crazy. Right. So 8 is Jason. Jason, welcome to the family, Jason. Excellent. So we can all turn our backs on Joel, who turned his back on us. Just kidding. Really love it when people join this thing. Obviously, it keeps the channel alive for the future. That's one of the biggest things that you're doing there. Is you keep me motivated to keep coming back. You know, and that's what I intend to do. Even if I'm heading up a huge, multi-million-dollar crypto project or whatever, I still intend on coming back here. But I'll only do it if this is actually, into 2022. If this is actually operating as a profit-making business overall, like the money flow on this needs to be balanced and whatever else. So it needs to be like that. So that's just going to make it wipe its face for me. And we never really got to our target there of 3,000. But let's try and push it on. Share this channel with your friends, your family. I really appreciate it. Everybody joining in. So cool. Let me just do the reverse roll call chitter chatter here. Andrew Gibson, what were you saying? Just found the channel. Thanks for streaming. If you're looking for alt shouts, I'd enjoy a comment on Atom. My friend, you're too slow. I'm sorry. I just have a quick look at the Atom chart just to see what it's like, if it's got anything different about it or anything it's different. No, we're seeing you'll not miss out on the analysis that I've done so far for everything else. Looking good. If it drops down 10%, we can cope with that. If it drops down 15 to 20%, then it's time to let go of your longs. If we're looking up the way, the potential movements that it has in store for us, best buy would probably be in at around about 1940. Your best exit then would probably be, in terms of your lowest risk to reward, would be sort of 15 to 17% up from that price point. Otherwise, you're a little bit greedy in terms of the shorter term picture, but in terms of the bigger term picture, we're flying as well, and the next target up is going to be like $23 area really, and so long as we stay above $10. I know that's crazy, 100%. We've seen this sort of thing in the past though. That's really what we need to stay above in the longer, broader term perspective. Really, actually, $17 is that key area for you, and then towards the top side, your profit taking, you're going to have a few 10% moves up the way. It'd be easy enough if you had 3 profit taking targets to kind of manage your risk appropriately. I'd be looking between the $22 and $26 area for that one. With regards to those chunk moves up the way, I'd have 3 profit taking targets spread out amongst them, managing my risk at 17 on that one. So there you go on that front for you, buddy. Hopefully at least you found that helpful. Things are obviously looking pretty good. There's no guarantee of that best buy entry for you. Managing risk between here and there is appropriate, because movements past that 17 would probably be negative. You could obviously scale in and around about things. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Don't take anything that I say for as sort of gospel. Always do your own research. Join the Patreon though. Do it, and join the Discord so that you're actually a part of a club of people who want to help themselves achieve their best potential goals in life. So there's those 10 patrons there, and there's various people that have been grandfathered into the system so far as a result of their participation in the community, such as the Alex Murphys, who are the mods there. That's Robocop, by the way. And as well, the likes of whatever. That's cool. That's who we are. So, but anyway, I'm looking to try and grow that group. It'd be great if we could have 50 or 100 like-minded people in here. If we had 50 or 100 of these people, that would probably see the channel sustainable into 2022 and make for some good conversations. Trey, good to have you here. Thanks so much for your feedback, by the way. Do drop me an email as well whenever you're wanting to chitter chatter. It's good to have you, my friend. Thanks for the feedback on the previous episode. Try to do a similar one today, fairly dense in terms of information. The one on Monday maybe slightly more educational, I suppose. I did have that educational segment in there, but we've covered quite a lot today on the show. I'm going to have to find a good entry. I'm on Binance and can't set stops. Only seems I can do OCO, but if I set OCO, I can't set TP levels. That's right, my friend. Binance on spot isn't really set up as like that is, it's easier to talk about it that way, I suppose, with leverage trading on Binance, where they set it up for you dead easy that way. Now, I'm not recommending anybody to use leverage at all, but I'm just saying that if you were to, then you would have that option built in very much easier for you, but you can absolutely manage it yourself with those conditional orders. It is absolutely possible to do it, so persevere, and taking profits and stop loss as well. If your position's already in profit, I don't know, it depends on how regularly you're checking things, etc. But you can take profits. It's quite simple. Use your unconditional order, but then as well, like you were saying, but you also, what you do is you put in a reduce only sell order, for instance. So you have your reduce only order there, which means you won't increase your position size. If you were to have already stopped out, it would just not trigger if you didn't have something to sell there, okay? And that's how you manage that for you. So it's good that we got some tips out there to help some people. When I entered, it was 2x. When it went into profit, there was no need to have money tied up in it as I moved my stop up. Excellent stuff. Well done. Excellent stuff. That's fantastic to see. Hola amigo, says Signark Official. Good to have you here, my friend. Interesting, and a chance for me to learn new things. Excellent. Yeah, so what you want to do, and let me know if that isn't how it works. Pretty sure it is, but I'm talking off the top of my head here. Reduce only, and then you can have your take profit set nicely, and then you can do other stuff as well. Just kind of fiddle around, make it happen. I'm sure you can also use reduce only orders. Reduce only market orders to take to as stop losses as well. You can set it up manually like that. I'm not sure what scope Binance spot trading gives you on that front, but you can use that type of system, okay, where you hit that reduce only button. It's useful. It is useful. Sean, great. Right, let's do it then, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. TradeSpotting, you are a legend. Thank you so much for being in touch. Trey P, by the way, did you know Trade P? Trey P, what am I saying? Trip Man, did you know that I've got it set up now on docs.picnic.network? If you want to read it there, it's a little bit of a nicer viewing area for the documents, by the way, just so you know, folks, so you can go check that out. Okay, you can see all about the token that we are making here in this document, everybody. Okie dokie. So as you can see there, plenty of information for anybody who wants to read that. Feedback, welcome. I've shared the link for the form in here. Is it still there? Yep, there's the form again for anybody else who's looking to fill that in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Right, cool. So always learning. Thanks for tuning in. Trey, thanks for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. What did you say there? Welcome to the Rocky Outcrop Picture Show. Signmark Official, thank you so much for having you here. Andrew Gibson, thank you as well. Like I say, everybody, join that Patreon, help the channel stay alive into 2022, and of course help yourself, help each other, help everything. It's a really good thing. Farmika, thanks for being a part of the show this evening. Jacko Queepers, thank you for this evening as well. Oh, you say look at BT. I keep forgetting to look at BT. Let's look at BT. It jumped. Where did it jump to? Where did it jump to? Oh my goodness, where did it jump to? 3-minute chart. Right, yeah, it jumped up. It went from around about 58,200 up to those lofty heights of 58,700, finding resistance right in at that line. Profit taken right in at that line. Like that line there. Nice one. Nice one. So, there you go. Scotty Sniper, thanks for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. SF Krager, thanks so much for joining us. Scotty boy, cheers, Scott. Nice to see you this evening. Send my best to Anna. Sean, great. Oh, by the way, the lovely picture on Instagram earlier on, I liked. It was nice to see that. Let me see here. Navanethan, thanks for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Crypto Planet, hey dude. Craig Hicks, excellent to see you, buddy. Thanks for trying to get me to choose center, but I did that one last in the end. QQQ, thanks for joining us. Dan Fasilu, thanks for joining us. Anurag Shital, thanks for joining us. Phallic Doctor, thanks for joining us. Rook Trade, cheers for joining us. Phil, hit that like button if you're still here in this reverse roll call. If you're still here and you haven't hit it yet, go and do us a favor and slap that button around about its face. Not bad, it said Zoner earlier on. That's good. I'm going to take that as a compliment from me. I don't know what you meant it for, but I'm going to take it for me. It's nice to have had you here, Zoner. I didn't see you in the last couple of streams as well. Good to see you again, Zoner, by the way. I'm glad that you've not evaporated. And that's it. Crypto Planet, dude man, who let the bulls out? Yes, pretty sure everybody's got a shout out from me. Yes, love you too, Scott man. Love you too. Oh, Jordy Benitez, where's my face today? It was in the episode, buddy. It was in the episode. It's just that I've come to the end of it now. Okay, I'm tuning out. I've done a few coins. Had a look at a couple that got suggested as well along the way. Did it all, and I'm away off ski now. I'll come back again on Friday. Probably do a longer stream on Friday than I've done this evening. Be sure to check out docs.picnic.network if you want to know more about the cryptocurrency project that I'm doing. Be sure to fill in the form here at the link that I'm just shared in the chat box as well to give me feedback on it, and be sure to join the Patreon if you haven't already, to everybody out there, because it's we're trying to build something here. You know, it'd be fantastic to get this group of traders that we're talking about, that I've got here. It would be fantastic, wouldn't it, to get up to having 50 people or so in the group together. I think it's possible. To have, 50 people, and what would happen is you would have a cohort then at that stage of people who are looking to improve their own lives. A cohort. Now there already is those 9 plus me, that's 10 plus another 5 or 6 people, so there's already a decent amount of access to that paid group area. But of course, if you're looking to be a part of a community, getting involved in from the ground up, then that's where to go. Donations obviously help support the channel and what I do here, and I'm pretty sure that people should have been making some money over the last wee while, this last year, watching me trade. Of course, I'm not, or my technical analysis, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I say here is financial advice, okay? So always do your own research, your own due diligence. And if one guy jumps off a cliff, doesn't mean that you should do the same as well. Don't you remember that old thing your parents used to say to you when you were just a wee baby growing up doing silly things? So think for yourself. Your own best ally is always going to be yourself. That's 100% true when it comes to trading. Rely on yourself. Learn to, wage war on the fish, as we say on the channel, and really take it to them. Get it right up the gosh darn fish every single day. Thanks so much for tuning in, ladies and gents. I love yous very much. Hit that like button. Join me again on Friday. Oh, and join me in the Discord. By the way, I'm in the Discord frequently. I'm in the Discord, so get in there, chat. See you later.